To Players Only, how about this? On this date in 1984, Larry Nance rocked a baby to sleep. I hope they had the one with the 2 balls as well. That's right. Again, it's the anniversary of the first NBA dunk contest in 1984, 35 years ago. And we were bad men back then. Players Only, that's right. Larry Nance, we hope to see some more of that.
Oh, my God, Dr. J.
Oh, and Dominique in the back. Wow, Larry Nance beat Dr. J and Dominique. You know that was a good dunk contest. And speaking of All-Star Game 2019, you see we have your Mountain Dew Ice Rising Stars Challenge on Friday. How about the All-Star Game Saturday night, or, you know, the All-Star festivities? That's the 3-point contest, skills challenge, and dunk contest. And then the festivities. Shaq, which was your favorite out of the billion All-Stars you went to? Which was your favorite All-Star?
Vince Carter, because I almost broke my orbital bone. Orbital bone is the bone under the eye, and I had one of the new fancy cameras, and he did that dunk that I'd never seen before. I pushed the camera back, and my eye ended up looking like this. My eye does that. You can get a close-up on my eye.
Yeah. You look
like it always does right there.
What's the guy on it? Let me tell you something.
No, because I had the camera in the eye and it did like that.
From the Goonies, that's the dude.
That's
Let me tell you something.
You're too young for Living Color.
I don't remember. Come on, Fire Marshal.
Let me
tell you
something. You watch that on YouTube, girl.
But that was my favorite. I think that was in Oakland.
Yeah. Let's get out to Cleveland, where Bradley Beal hopes to be an all-star. Warming up, and check it out. Osman knocks it down for 3. How about this again? Osman, he's going to fly Clarkson for the 3-pointer. And we just talked about this man's pop, so he has to get a dunk tonight. That's right, Larry Nance. You remember this guy, Dellavedova? He was in Milwaukee last year. He came back home.
Okay, Delly.
Oh, yeah, Cleveland up 176. But let's get out to the 4th with the Wizards.
Those uniforms.
Outscored the Cavs 36-16 to get back in the game. It's a lot of ugly uniforms right now.
Are those old Cleveland?
I don't think that's old. I just think it's new and ugly.
Okay, Bradley.
You know who that is, though, Duncan? That's Gary Payton II. That's right. GP, where you at, baby? You couldn't jump like your son. Your son out there getting work.
Oh, step back.
You want to see it? Oh, Osman playing defense on the last play of the game.
And the Cavaliers had it all.
The Wiz were trying to go for 3 to tie it up. The final score, 116-113.
Don't take them jerseys off.
The Wiz suffered consecutive losses for the first time.
What is that?
You know, never put those jerseys back on.
You got to win, keep them.
January.
Off.
Bradley Beal, 31. Hey, BD, you think Washington Wiz can make it to the playoffs without John Wall?
I definitely think so. One, the East is still,
up for grabs,
it's still up for grabs. I think the bottom teams still have a chance. And, like towards the end of the season, after All-Star Weekend, like we always say, you're going to see which teams want to be there and which teams don't. And I think with Bradley Beal and with John Wall out and with Dwight Howard out, Washington has an opportunity to really start to make a push behind Bradley Beal as a focal point.
Big Shaq, you think Washington should make a trade right now while John Wall is out? You see Bradley Beal just going to work. He can do so many things. Maybe another team wants him. Wall's getting the supermax, or keep him together and let him keep going.
They're definitely missing a couple of pieces, but it's very interesting that when John Wall is out, the ball moves around better, everybody gets involved, and they play a little bit better at times. You would think that John Wall would see that and, would mix his game up a little bit, but sometimes people think he's a ball stopper. I don't really think he's a ball stopper. I think if they just sit down and have a conversation and figure out how they want to play, I think they could be a little bit better.
Well, let's go out to Milwaukee, because Players Only halftime report presented by American Express. Now, usually we don't come in with highlights of the losing team, but the Lakers have been making a run with a few highlights.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Don't look at him. Don't you look at him.
No, don't look at him. It's a tech.
Don't look at him.
Don't stand over him. Yeah.
Where's Khalifa looking?
You got beads at the end. I see you with the beads.
Welcome to Players Only. I'm Chris Webber. We got Shaq, Candace Parker, and my man BD. So what's going on, guys? When you look at the first half of this game, actually, we can look at some of these plays. When you see a young team like the Lakers and they don't have LeBron James there, Candace, and you see the start of a game like this, if you're the coach or a teammate, What do you say to your players, and why is this going on?
Well, this looks like a team that hasn't had a ball handler with them. I mean, Rajon Rondo missed time. Lonzo Ball's out with an ankle injury. LeBron's been out for 16 games. So when the head of your offense has been out, you know, you're going to turn the ball over. But they were just giving the ball away.
I'd have to disagree with my good friend Candace. This right here is just a lack of focus, because after we get rid of these highlights, we're going to show highlights when they start focusing, they start making the plays.
No, I agree.
We're all professional. We all can play. And all coaches say the same thing. You guys are just not, listen, you're playing against the 76ers. LeBron's not out. Some of these guys should be auditioning, because when they come back, they're going to have to start tightening it up. A trade might be made, you know, so guys need to start auditioning and playing out. That right there was just a lack of focus. First play of the game, you can't turn it over.
I wanted to say, like, could it be the lack of focus? Could that be because of all the stuff that we're hearing today, right?
Right.
With, you know, the Anthony Davis trade rumors and, you know, them getting off to a slow start. When you have a young team like that, usually they're in their head, right?
Because they think they're going to be traded.
Yeah, because like you showing up to the
that's
game.
why you're supposed to step up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, to show I'm next.
Yeah, you got to step
No,
up.
that's not the way you start. But I think as they got into the flow, they kind of, you know, when you start playing, you kind of lose that mentality. You got to get back to playing basketball.
But could it also be that the ball's in the wrong people's hands? I mean, you see Josh Hart with the ball in his hands trying to make plays, as opposed to, you know, these guys are used to having finishing plays and not having to make them.
I mean, but they're down, they're playing in L.A., and we all know how the L.A. fans are. They're getting back in the game right there. Mike Penberthy with the two-handed jam.
Doing it on the
They starting to come up, and they're a little bit more focused.
And the fact, let me ask you
Playing
something,
with great
Shaq.
energy.
Shaq, you played in two cities that were temptations for teammates, and that was Miami and the Lakers. Did the great Lakers team ever say, this team is coming in tonight, or did you say, this team is coming in tonight? I know that they went out last night. We need to start early and get off to a 10-point lead, because then they won't come back. Or Miami, both places temptations for players.
It also depends on your plan. When you're playing against a great team that really has championship aspirations, like you guys never went out. So like we would definitely worry about y'all. But the young teams, we know they was going out. You know how I knew? When I went out, I saw. So I knew who was out and who wasn't out. And you know, the Lakers again, they were not mentally ready. And you know, once the crowd started getting into the game and LeBron started talking, you know, making faces and stuff like that, their concentration and their focus was a little bit better, and they're starting to get back in the game. But, you know, Philly cannot lose this game today.
Yeah.
Against the LeBron-less Lakers, you got to get that win.
See, you're not going to put Cleveland in that mix of
going out late at night?
No? Nobody went out in
No, they
Cleveland?
went to the movies.
Okay, my bad.
Coaches love Cleveland. Like, I see at 6 o'clock practice, they're like, all right.
You go out in Cleveland, go right to the airport.
Listen, one time, I was living in Cleveland.
Sorry,
Went out
Cleveland.
3 times and I didn't see nothing. They ain't even had no hookah bar in
Did
Cleveland.
you see them midgets? They had things called midgets in
Midgets?
Cleveland.
What's that?
They like a million gnats. It was like a million gnats just hanging on buildings. That was the most interesting thing I seen in Cleveland. Midgets.
He do look like Wiz
Yeah,
Khalifa,
he look like Tiger, too.
Tiger with the dunk.
A little bit with him.
He do look like Wiz.
Oh, man. We'll be back.
Add it up,
more
ain't you,
in a minute
boy?
on the American Express halftime report. We'll tell you who more people look like. We know all their twins.
I never seen you out when these in L.A.
Welcome back to Players Only, Mr. Vegas. I hope you are listening, GA. Matter of fact, I know you are. I just want to throw a couple things out to you, GA. Barry Davis.
got a button now.
Hold on, GA.
We got a button.
Yeah, hold on. Barry Davis said you look like the black man on the penny that got rejected. Barry Davis said you cut your suit coat out of a car of an old pimp Cadillac.
And Candace said you look like a Rick James backup singer. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby.
Hey, Jimmy, why you laughing so hard, Jimmy?
But wait a minute, Candace. I know C. Webb that caught a few comments tonight.
Oh, they've been killing me. That's why I'm glad they killing you, because Candace said you trying to join the NFL Hall of Fame.
He got that pimp cushion. He got that pimp cushion jacket on.
Is that velvet?
Hey, you have to have left this to me, and it will.
Golden ticket. Thank you for wearing that outfit, GA. You've let me get away with this turtleneck, and I'm hot in the studio.
Hey, GA, don't let him talk you out of that, dog. Bring that one out.
Hold on.
I ain't worried about
This next time, don't do the red pinstripes
I got
with
a maroon one
it.
next
And wear
week.
that vest. You know it's a vest with that.
I ain't wearing a vest this time. I'm going to have a maroon one
You
next
look like
week.
a gold sugar cane. Welcome to the Players Only Halftime Report, presented by American Express. I'm Chris Webber. We got my girl Candace Parker, BD, that's Baron Davis, and the big Shaq, the big everything. What's up, big fella? You laughing at. What's up?
I don't mean to sweat her, but she looks nice. Get it? Sweat her?
Explain the inside joke. Welcome back to American Express teammates. Now, of course, we're watching the Houston Pelicans game, but we got a game that's better than that. So we're going to switch over right now. How about this? I think that's 60 points, and you just look at that.
Yikes.
Field goal percentage, 36. What is that? 21 for 36 shooting. That's right. These
Quick
teammates
math,
of
what?
Westbrook and Paul just like that
That was
math
quick
right there.
math.
Yeah, I saw you watching me too. I was gonna look
Wait,
at
let
you.
me carry the one.
See them,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Trying early, but let's get right to the highlights. BD, what's the best thing you like about Paul George's game?
I think the shift in him being the aggressive, right? He's smooth, mid-range to the hole. He handles the ball, and he can find people. But I just like him in the ISO situation. I don't think it's nobody in the league that can guard this kid right now.
You want to see this move? Check it out. A career high 31 in the first half, and the float on the floater. I don't know who that was. He gave them the business. George again with 31.
What was that? Afro Euro step?
Afro Euro step.
Oh, show it to him.
Okay, show it again.
Afro beat.
That's how you
That's
do
an
it.
Afro beat.
You know what I mean? So, where's the Westbrook? You want to see Hamidou Diallo get up? There you go. The oop baseline for the dunk. OKC up 83-73. Now, Vucevic. It's time for him to go up. You got to dunk on everybody you can. And even though it didn't go in sometimes, you still got to attack the basket. Jerry and Grant, one of the Grant twins, goes to the hole. He makes
Son of Harvey.
26-5 Magic run. Now, Schroeder, he's going to tie the game up with a three-pointer. You know, Candace, I think he's been so good for this team, Schroeder, because he keeps the pace of a guy like Russell Westbrook doing his thing.
Well, Schroeder has obviously played starting minutes, and for him to be able to play also without Russell, but alongside him, it gives OKC another look.
It gives them another look, lets them keep the pace, and how about that? 118, 113. You want to see a little more George?
Give it to him.
Up, step back, crossover, step back.
Fournier tried.
Got him.
Tried.
OKC. Now, Candace, and we were talking, you and I believe, and guys are interested to hear what y'all think, but Candace was saying in the back that OKC just really all they need is a shooter, and that would help them basically what you were saying, right, from penetration from a Westbrook and a standstill shooter or somebody that can get their own shot.
I think at this point, just a standstill shooter, and it'll open up the lane and it'll take some pressure off of Russell and obviously give him more space for him to drive, because he's doing really good going north and south this season.
I agree with you, but they also need another guy that can score at all times, because, you know, it's nice to have a 1-2 punch, but what if one of those guys are not having a good game? You need that other guy that's an automatic scorer. Schroeder can be that guy every now and then, but he's kind of a wild card. I don't want him taking, you know, crazy shots trying to get 20.
Do you guys think a team like this, BD, needs to make a trade before the February 7th trade deadline, or because they're playing well and rely on their defense, you just got to throw all your chips in and play this way? Or if you want to win a championship, is this year to make the trade, or do you think Golden State still has it and you have another year or two before you shore up your team?
I think it's the year to make the trade, because what Candace and Shaq is saying, those are the two people they need, right? And you can go and find somebody on somebody's bench. Look what Houston did with Fareed. You can go find one of these people that can be, you know, a third or a fourth scorer for you, rebounder, effective guy, and then you can also go get you a shooter, somebody that can stretch the defense. And if they have those two things with Schroeder and with Russ and PG doing most of the ball handling, they should be fine.
Yeah, it'd be interesting with their defense to see if they make any more moves. Now, we'll be back with more in a minute on the American Express Halftime Report. Shaq, when your coworkers laugh at your jokes, it's because they're too scared not to. Sweater.
You don't like my joke, Mouse?
Really? Okay, TK, I got one for you.
Oh, there you go. That's your studious look.
Yeah.
Professor Parker.
That was my carry the one.
Professor
look.
Parker.
That was my quick math look.
There you go. We'll be back. Players only.
Y'all ain't like my joke?
Welcome.
Back. It's the American Express Halftime Report. We got the crew up here, Players Only. We're back every Tuesday. You can catch us on TNT. That's the station you're watching now, just in case you didn't know. Candace, we were watching the game in the back, and you were talking about teammates, hustle players, and how this wasn't stars only, but players only, meaning that we need to give a little love to the players that do all the dirty work, the unsung heroes. And you have a guy you want to talk about tonight.
Well, Kenneth Faried, picked up by Houston, has bounced around the league for some time, changed positions from playing a 4 into a league that now they only value stretch 4s now. So it was, where do you play him? Well, Houston found a place to play him, and that's at the 5 position. P.J. Tucker is their blue-collar worker. Well, now they have another one. He gets the hustle plays. He always seems to be at the right place at the right time, moves without the ball very well, is able to finish. For what he gives up in size, he has in strength. And, you know, obviously shouldn't have thrown that pass, but he gets it back with the hustle play and gets the and one. This is a person that is filling in for Clint Capella, who was averaging 18 points, 13 rebounds. At the half, he has 13 and 7. And so it's not all about just the stars. It's about those other players that can fill in, and especially in the playoffs, this is great for them to have a backup behind Clint.
And he's out there working hard. You can see he's out there sweating like he's wearing a black turtleneck sweater. He's out there sweating.
Where's my man that sent in the tweet earlier about laughing at Shaq's jokes? Oh, this guy, funny guy.
Like that sweater.
Eddie Murphy in the studio tonight, guys. When the Clumps 3 comes back
What's up, Keith Sweat?
You want me to sing a little Keith? I get up tonight.
Get up.
I thought we was teammates. Now, Barry down there pumping it up. All right, Barry. I just saw the Mr. Rogers documentary. He straight up jacking his style. But see,
It's
I
a
don't even like
beautiful day
doing
on
that.
players only. It's a beautiful day
In the
on players.
neighborhood. Hey, you remember Eddie Murphy did Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood? That's who VD look like right now. About to rob your crib. We'll be right back. Players only, halftime. Oh, somebody help me out there.
That's right.
Baron Davis turning. Oh, there you go. Mr. Boom Hood.
The internet has no chill.
And they quick, too.
Undefeated.
Raider tip-off show, and welcome back. Players only, baby. That's right. We're in the house on TNT. Now, Anthony Davis, he may not be in New Orleans much longer. We're going to talk about that in a second. But James Harden, he definitely will be in the house in Houston. And can he get 40 again tonight? 40-piece. That's right. We got New Orleans and Houston next on TNT. What's up, everybody? Welcome back, welcome back. That's right, players only. We're here. We got the same faces and some new additions, but if you don't know the man to my right, then you don't know basketball. That's right. That's the big Shaq, the big everything, cactus, Nostra, all that stuff, you know. Yeah? We got California, LA's finest to be exact, when we talk about Baron Davis. And we finally got some class up on the set.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? And some game. We had to get our girl. I wasn't talking about you, BD.
No, I was saying thank you.
I thought you were saying you was in class.
Sure.
Okay, we both in agreement that
Yes.
the great Candace Parker, we welcome you to the set. Thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you. And, you know, let's get right into it. Shaq, you know, your time in Orlando, you were a free agent, or you were coming up for free agency, and you didn't go back to Orlando. You understand sort of what Anthony Davis is going through, not that you asked to be traded. Can you give us a little insight on what you think he's going through, whether you think it was the right move for him to ask to leave, and what do you think he'll go through if he doesn't have a trade for the rest of the season?
Well, we all know basketball, and we all know the people that surround him. He had an agent. He's one of those players like we were, really didn't need an agent. We're going to get the max deal regardless. But you had to know and understand that when he signed with Rich Paul and Clutch Sports, knew this was going to happen. You know, he's the type of player who's made a name for himself. He probably wants to play in a big market, and his agent's best friend plays in one of the biggest markets in LA. So we knew this was going to happen. I thought it was going to be done a little bit more quietly, but you know, he's already mentioned that he's not going to sign that 5 for $240. So he said, "Hey, I want to be traded." So now the ball's in the court of the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, you can see what
we'll see what happens.
You can see what he's done here, Shaq. 7 years in the league. This year, he's number 2 in scoring. He's top at blocks, and kind of see just his list. And you and I were talking, Candace, before the game, and you had a little different perspective as far as we were just talking about players and asking out. What do you feel of the situation with AD?
Well, I'm all for him saying that
I'm like, we all about to lose. I ain't trading nobody. I'm gonna wait to get what I want. What do you think? How do you think the situation gonna play out? What do you see with the situation?
I think New Orleans needs to think about New Orleans and start to think about their future, right? You know, here you have a guy who, he ain't coming back. You know, let's face the facts, he's not coming back. You don't have enough with him to keep building, so you should blow it up. Get the best offer out there, get some draft picks. The Lakers have great players and talent. You got Boston out there. Everybody's throwing their best at you. Look, assess, take the best offer, and let that man go and do what he got to do.
Let me leave this on the table for you guys. Now, we've been in the league a long time around basketball. Anthony Davis got fined $50,000 for his public trade demand. Have y'all ever heard of a player getting fined for saying he wanted to go to another team?
No, I've never heard that.
No, me either. So we did a little research. We an underdog. Rudy Fernandez, I really don't know who that is.
Yeah, play for the Blazers. He played for the
Come
Blazers.
on.
He played for the Blazers.
Blazers.
I got
Does he still play?
I got to see a picture.
Huh?
Does he still play?
I mean, it depends on what he say.
See, no, he got fined. And then the other was our boy Nate Robinson. Nate, I just called you.
Big
Pick up
Nate.
the
What's up,
phone.
Big Nate?
I was about to ask Nate why he
Nate.
got fined. Now, you're telling me, out of all that we've heard, that these are the two names that got fined, y'all?
Tampering. I think the reason why he got fined is the whole, like, you know, he's a superstar in the league. Here they come with the tampering stuff, and so he's just adding fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? So the league, you know, the league.
But
gotta
being
have some
players,
type-
I could call you and be like, let's hook up. I mean, if we're players, how can
I'm not saying it's wrong. He should say whatever he wants. You
Right.
know what I mean? But I've never seen nothing like this.
And again, you had to know when he signed with Rich Paul, this was coming.
Yeah.
Everybody knew it was coming.
I agree. The play was totally telegraphed on that side.
From a franchise standpoint, like in terms of trying to attract other free agents, you're going to file an investigation against one of your players?
No, it sounds
I mean,
like New Orleans is not happy with
that's
the
what I
situation.
mean. And
Oh,
so
the
it's like,
team fined him.
yeah,
Well, the team has to launch an
team
investigation.
launched an investigation.
And then they lost an investigation.
I
and
mean,
that man
$50,000 ain't worth it. You know what I mean? They just they need to
keep that money.
They need to just go on and make some trades, get some real
Okay,
money.
but I have a question.
You know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
5-2-40. You can't get that nowhere else. Would you want to go and play somewhere else, or do you want to take that?
See what? What did
I
you
stayed in
say?
Sacramento for much less. I definitely 5 for 240.
I'm staying.
But the thing
staying.
is, too, Shaq, the basketball teams, the shoe companies are paying you more than ever now. And so it seems like a lot of players are using that to rely on the fact they can make that up.
Forget making it up.
5-2-40.
I'm trying to make it when it comes.
Yeah.
And 240 in New Orleans is a lot different than
Yeah, but
240 in LA, as
Exactly.
we know very
A
well.
whole lot different. 240 in LA is 120. Trust
So
me.
it's pretty much a
Like,
consensus.
but
might be less than that.
But still, I'd rather have 120 and live in LA.
Nah.
Oh, you from LA. Oh, get out
talking
anyway.
about.
Oh, who gonna win the Super
Tell
Bowl?
him.
Who gonna win the Super
The
Bowl?
Rams, dog. What you think?
Oh, you're one of those.
This guy, yeah.
Are you on the?
He's like
That's
in New
my
York. He
son's
has like
favorite
three
team.
Are you on the?
Oh, so now it's your son's favorite team, so
son
you got to
lives
root
in
for
LA,
your son. Anyway, check it out. As we go to break, All-Star Weekend is coming up, and here's a look at the Friday Rising Stars roster. Now, it's presented by Mountain Dew Ice. Now, first we have the World Team, and let me see. I know all those guys on that team. Laurie Markkinen, one of our favorite players. You know what Doncic could do. Aiden, he's from the Bahamas. Ben Simmons, he is from, where's Ben Simmons from? Australia. Yeah, there we go. And, hey, BD, you know my man from Brooklyn's name right there?
Yeah, his name is Rudolph Krukruks.
Yeah, I had to ask because I didn't know. It's Rodot. Dang, now I just spelled it. I can't even say it. Anyway, let me go to the next one. I can't even read
that's
it.
my
And I
squad
spelled it
right
out
there.
myself. The USA, you got De'Aaron Fox. Who you like seeing on this roster, BD?
All of them. De'Aaron Fox, Tatum, Kuz, Trae Young.
I'm going to go with my guy,
Donovan
De'Aaron Fox. Too fast for everybody else.
Man.
I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum.
Okay.
I got my young boy Bagley. Wow, we smoking.
How about the Kings and the Brooklyn Nets have two players for each team, and the Lakers? When you look at Kuzma and Alonzo Ball, we're gonna love checking out that game. What's up, Jaren Jackson? I played with your pops. He was a hog. Don't you be a hog like him. We'll be back. No, I'm just messing. What's up, Jaren? We'll be back with more Players Only in a minute.